All righty, folks. This is going to be probably one of those uncomfortable but important conversations. All of us go through this life. We only got one. We need to hug our loved ones. But every once in a while, we get a reminder of just how fragile life is. Unfortunately, the team at Himlane, Dana specifically, lost her business partner. And we're going to dig into that a little bit. We're going to talk about him, celebrate him. But this is really going to hopefully be a reminder to all of you. Remember to hug your loved ones. Say the nice words. You just never know when the light goes out. So, Dana, let's celebrate him a little bit. Tell us about it. What happened?
Yeah. So the background on Brandon, I actually met him before he started working at Hemlane. I had met him, I think, a year beforehand. And his name's Brandon Healy. He ran our sales and marketing. So it was my right hand, everything on the business side and thinking about customer messaging. He did much more than sales and marketing. He took it all the way through to like, how do you make sure everything you're selling, you're delivering on, right? But he originally had worked for a company called Sumo Quote. And Sumo Quote did roofing. Basically, it was for roofers, so contractors for roofers.
Yep.
It was a software company that basically ran everything for them. So think about everything from invoicing and estimates, or estimates and invoicing, to scheduling, to recording your materials. It was a specialty software focused on roofing contractors and roofing companies. And at that time, they were just about to sell the company to Job Nimbus, and he was running all of their sales and marketing. You can imagine the parallels because Hemlane's in repair coordination, and vendors are the secret to how we run and operate.
Yep.
And a lot of similarities to, I think, running a real estate business. You're an entrepreneur. You're running a small business, and you're also looking to optimize things. So I met him. He said, we're going through with the sale. We have to go through the entire transition. And at that time, then he started, planning to have a family. He had his first child back in December. And essentially, Brandon brought so much to Hemlane. He was that I'm a mobilizer. I'm like, get stuff done right now. He's a strategist. If you've ever read the book Unicorn Team, it talks about visionaries, strategists, and mobilizers. And he's very much on that strategy side of, hey, how do we rethink our strategy? And one of the things that I loved about him, it was always, don't work harder, work smarter. And so revamped everything from our messaging on our website. One thing was, we were calling it, we can help with leasing. It's called Leasing Plus. He goes, no landlord knows what leasing is. He goes, I'm a landlord and I don't know what that means. I think it's a lease. And I said, no, it's finding and placing a tenant. He goes, we're going to call it tenant placement then.
I love it.
We had something called rent defense, and rent defense was basically to help if you have a case of an eviction. And he goes, no one knows what rent defense is, Dana. What does that mean? He goes, we're going to call it eviction shield. And so he, everything from like the branding of the product, so it was easier for you to understand what was going on, to and everything from upstream, from our ads all the way to interacting with customers in the app. He said it should be simpler. Everything needs to be simple for them. And you saw that with our numbers and all of his contributions that he had added to making it much easier. And he's very thoughtful, because it's hard to find someone who, a lot of sales folks are just focused on that new MRR. He was very much focused on retention, everything you sell, people need to be there long term. So anyway, very much added so much for our customers and how we talk to them, how we service them. What should we be doing next? He was huge on saying everything in app, lease renewals, click of a button, e-sign, everything goes through. And to tell you kind of the story of what happened back in January, he was saying, I'm not at 100%. And we all said, oh, it's probably because you just had a baby. When you have a baby, you don't sleep. Yeah, didn't take much time off. Yep, it's the baby. And what we didn't understand, and we found out 2 weeks before we said our goodbyes to him, our last goodbyes, was he had stage 4 cancer. And that's a lesson of always, always cherish those around you. You think so differently about those personal relationships you have, the people you sometimes take for granted that are in your life that have just meant so much to you. That life is short and life can be shorter. And you don't know why some people's life is shorter or why this happened to him, that his life, he left a 4-month-old baby at home and a beautiful, wonderful wife. But it just shows life is short, and you really need to, with everyone you interact with, make sure you treat every moment like it could be your last.
No, I think that's just wise words. I think there's a couple of things I hope people take from this. First and foremost, health is wealth. If you are somebody out there and you too are feel like you're operating at 50 or 60% of your normal self, do us a favor. Do what Brandon did. Go to the doctor. Right? It's probably nothing, and frankly, I hope it's nothing, but it could be something.
Yeah.
Right? It could be something. So again, take that advice. If you're hearing this story, go to the doctors. And let's be clear, I'm somebody that does not enjoy doing that, but because of Brandon, I'll always remember that, because again, you just never know with cancer, right? If you could have found it 6 months ago or a year ago, these what ifs, you never know if the outcome would have been different. You just don't know. And then the second thing is, I think about seasons of life. That's a big thing for me these days. And I think people should understand they go through seasons. And, for a lot of us, there's this work season, but there's also got to be a time to do life. And I did it wrong, right? I did the 80-hour weeks for more than a decade. I missed out on more memories with my daughter than I care to admit. And I hope people hear from me. That's an error I can't fix, but some of you can, especially if you're a guy, which is I can only speak to that. And you have a daughter, please hug them more, right? There's a time where you're everything to them, and you could hug them in private, in public. It's your everything. Hug them more, because once they get to be 13 or 14, girls get weird. Just be clear. Just get weird. But those are some memories I can't get back. So again, if you're a dad out there, a girl dad, respect girl dads. And again, just another example that a shining light could be snuffed out in weeks, right? You got the notice 2 weeks ago. You and I talked off camera one time about your right hand needed to take some time to get right.
Yeah.
And then you texted me the other day and said, he's gone. I'm like, wow.
I know.
It's crazy.
It's one of those things. I think the whole team is still processing it. When something like that happens, you don't want to believe it. And I think, to your point, health is so important. I think that a lot of people are so stuck in the go. And all of us have that we forget. It's like, if something is hurting, if you're feeling that you're not getting enough sleep or anything, just make sure you take, and then even those annual checkups that you should take, just make sure that you mitigate that risk as much as possible. And you know what? There's also just one thing we were thinking of with how quickly the cancer spread for him. It's also questioning, like, why was it his time? Why did this happen so quickly as well? But I think time is just too short. So I think that part of health really resonates with me.
Yeah. Folks, again, all death is tragic. Losing, somebody that you're close with, right-hand person, is tragic. But again, I feel sorry for his wife who's really feeling it. But let's not forget the 4-month-old. 4-month-old's going to grow up without him.
Yeah.
And, that's tragic. It's just all sucks, Dana. It just sucks.
I know. I think one of the things of words of wisdom that we heard from Brandon in his final moments, which I think was really special, is every time something comes to you, you can handle it with fear, anxiety. He actually said, I'm actually not scared. I already see myself on a river. He's a fisherman. He fishes, he fly fishes. He said, I already see myself on that river, and I know that everyone will be okay. And I think that was, I mean, I don't think I would have left this world that way, let me tell you, with Grace. But I do think the thing with his 4-month-old and his son, little baby Walt, is I hope that Walt fishes with his mother every day. I hope I get to take him fishing too, and remember the good old times with Brandon. And so, yeah, I think you're right. It's really sad, and those moments of how you choose to confront them and what you do in that moment also is something that's a reflection, because I don't think I would have been as strong as Brandon, and he left on, as you could imagine, the highest note, always, with our team and with his family.
Folks, at the end of the day, do me a favor. Tell someone you love them. Take a picture. Create a memory. Life is short. You never know when that might be the last hug, the last I love you, the last memory. Dana, you're amazing. I'm sorry. We feel
Thank
for
you.
you. Take care.
Thanks so much.